Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining another Ready to Ride Pilates for horse riders, where today we are going to be working your abdominal muscles really quite hard. I suggest that you do some form of warm-up before we do this, so maybe try last week's easier abdominal session or do one of the set warm-up sessions on this channel. We're going to be focusing on your abdominals because they are so important, providing that link between your upper body and your seat, and they do need to be strong to give you that stable connection. So I'd like you to start by just thinking of having that nice equal weight through your seat bones and drawing yourself up as tall as you can through the whole of your spine, but trying to be elastic as you do so. Then you're going to turn your head from side to side, keeping your eyes level as you turn. If you feel a little bit stiff one way, don't worry. Just gently see if you can go a little bit further. It's just good to try and make sure that your body is moving nicely and freely before you start. Okay, we're now going to go down, face down onto your mat, and I'd like you to be propped up onto your forearms. So forearms underneath your elbows, underneath your shoulders. Start off having your feet flat, pelvic floor up onto floor 3, and lift your pelvis off the mat. Then slowly back down. So pelvic floor into that lift and slowly back down. Watch as you do that you don't dip down with your head. Keep your head level so you just lift through your pelvis. We're going to make it a wee bit harder now. So I'd like you to tuck your toes underneath your feet. Pelvic floor once again, then lift your pelvis, lift your knees, bring your knees down, bring your pelvis down. Or if you prefer, you can go knees and pelvis together, knees and pelvis together. Doesn't matter which version you do, whichever one really suits your body the best, but watch your head position so that you're not dipping down through your head. Keep the pelvic floor onto floor 3, and remember, keep your breathing regular. This is one of those where it's very easy to take in a deep breath and hold as you go into the lift, and we want to keep it nice, relaxed and gentle. We're going to do one more of this one. Okay, then we're going to turn onto your side and we're going to do your side kick. So I'd like you in the capital L position, straight line shoulders, hips, knees bent to 90 degrees. And we're going to start off at the level 1 just to ease your bodies into it. Pelvic floor onto floor 3, float your top leg, and then you're bringing that knee up around your hip and pelvis area. It's your coffee table polishing one, so keep your hip, knee and foot level with each other the whole way through. We're going to make this a little bit harder now, so engage the pelvic floor onto floor 3, then lift your pelvis, and then off you go again. So you're probably thinking, hey, hang on a minute, this is working my glutes. Remember that everything works together, so we never can work one body part all in one go. But now you're elevated, you're really working your oblique abdominal muscles really quite hard to hold you into this position and keep your body stable so that your leg can move. And just think about what's happening when you're in the saddle, when you want to put your leg on, providing one leg aid. You need to be stable in the saddle to be able to do that, and your abdominals help you to stay stable in the saddle. Keep the breathing, keep the pelvic floor, and try and keep relaxed through your top shoulder. Okay, we'll do one more. Bring that leg down, then we're going to turn onto your back. And we're going to do your oblique prep exercise. You may well want to have a head rest, it's entirely up to you. I'd like you to have your feet and knees hip width apart approximately. Neutral tummy position, I can't quite achieve that on my lumpy lawn, but neutral tummy. If you've got a spiky ball, now's a good time to use it. Pelvic floor onto floor 3. Pop your right hand at the top of your neck or base of your head. Float your left hand, reach for your toes, and bring your right elbow towards your left knee. And take everything down together. So it's float, reach, into that turn, everything back down together. Keeping your low back as still as possible, so you're trying to avoid imprinting to create that range. The movement is coming through your upper and mid back, and again, you're using your oblique abdominals a lot to do this. Okay, we're going to swap and go the other way. So left hand at the top of your neck, base of your head, right arm on the floor beside you. Neutral tummy, pelvic floor onto floor 3, float, reach and into that turn to the right. I find this way much harder, particularly as my lawn seems to be dipping down to the right as well, so I'm falling into a hole. But I can't go as far this way before I feel that I start to go into that input position. So be really aware of your own body's limitations. We're going to do one more. Okay, we're now going to move on to doing your scissors exercise. We're going to go straight into the tabletop version. So hands onto your headlights for your feedback. Pelvic floor onto floor 3, and one at a time, legs up into tabletop. Check you've still got your neutral tummy position. Pelvic floor, make sure you're breathing. And we'll do your level 2 to start off with. So you're moving one leg down and back up, and then the other leg down and back up. Always moving from the hip, remember, keep the knee at 90 degrees. We're now going to change it to the level 3 if you want to do the harder version. So you're going to move both legs at the same time. Now the real thing to notice now is what's happening with your abdominal muscles. You want to be thinking of keeping your ribs sinking down towards your pelvis as you do this. That helps you to keep this bit of your body completely stable. If you find that your ribs are starting to creep up towards the ceiling or the sky, depending on where you are, that's a sign that you're not really using your tummy muscles. If you're struggling to do that because you've tried to do the level 3 version, then drop back down to do your level 2 version, so moving one leg at a time. Okay, we're going to finish, so bring one leg down at a time anyway, have a little bit of a rest. So while you're resting, just a reminder, it's never worth pushing on trying to do the harder version if you're really struggling. If you're struggling to maintain all the basic components, always go back to doing the slightly easier version if there is one. Okay, we're going to move on to your double leg stretch. Again, we're going to start from the tabletop position. So one at a time, legs up. Neutral tummy, so think ribs to pelvis. Keep that position. Pelvic floor onto floor 3. Arms up over your head. And we're going to straighten one leg as your arms go over your head. And the same with the other leg. So we're moving arms and legs in synchronization with each other. Keeping that abdominal position, so ribs to pelvis is absolutely crucial. If you can watch your hands as they come back into view, try to make sure that they have stayed shoulder width apart the whole way through the movement. Do one more with each leg. Bring your arms down, one side feet back down, and once again, give yourselves a little bit of a breather. I'm going to spin myself round. You guys need to turn onto the side that you haven't already been on. And we're going to go straight back into your side kick once again. So propping up onto your other forearm, straight line from shoulders, hips to your knees. Top hand onto your top headlight, so it's giving you that little bit of feedback. Pelvic floor onto floor 3, float your top leg. And once again, we are polishing the imaginary coffee table. Keeping headlights still, so that movement is from your hip and your hip, knee and foot level. Okie doke, if you're ready, let's take it up a notch. So lift the pelvis, but keep your pelvic floor onto floor 3 and keep that breathing as relaxed as you possibly can. So when I say relax, I mean just thinking regular, just as if you were walking along. Remember that the best way to keep your breathing regular is to talk to yourself or sing to yourself. So if you're doing this at home, if there's no one else around who's going to laugh at you, just talk to yourself quietly. Keep that headlight still. Don't forget to relax your top shoulder as well. One of my sayings is tension is the enemy, and it really is. You don't want unnecessary tension. We need a little bit of tension, but not unnecessary tension, because that just blocks movement. We're going to do one more. And then bring that leg down, and we're going to go onto your hands and knees. And we're going to do the full leg pull exercise. So you need to have your hands a little way in front of your shoulders, toes tucked underneath your feet, pelvic floor onto floor 3, lift your knees and slowly back down. Just check as you do that you really do get a little lift, and we're not looking for a great big lift up here. So it's pelvic floor, little lift and slowly back down. So the next one we do, we're going to add in the full body movement. So it's pelvic floor lift, forwards over your hands. Just watch that you don't dip down into the cobra or stick your bottom up in the air. So it's a straight line, back over and down. So pelvic floor lift, straight over, come back and down. And remember, we're not trying to hold this position. It's all about the control in and out of the position and ending up in that desired end position so that you can control your body. It goes wherever you ask it to go. If you want to make it a little bit harder, see if you can stay in position, so without sticking your bottom in the air, which is quite tricky, and see if you can do a few of the knees to chest, still with the pelvic floor onto floor 3, and still keeping your breathing really regular. Okay, then we're going to see, tricky one, if you can do some shoulder taps. So you're tapping the opposite shoulder with your hand. You will rock a little bit from side to side, that's normal. Keep the breathing, keep the pelvic floor, one more each hand. And then bring your knees back over and back down. My hands are a bit wonky again. Okie doke. Bring yourselves upright. I'm going to finish off with your hip flexor stretch, but with an upper body stretch as well. So relax your body. You've worked really hard for the last 10 minutes. So relax into this position. Have your hands resting in front of you. And I'd like you to take your hands, push them forwards and away. Tilt your headlights up towards the ceiling and push them forward as you take your arms up above your head. And then rest everything back down together. So hands up, tilt your headlights up and push forward as your hands go over your head. And rest. We're going to do one more this way. So hands up, headlights up and push forwards. Come back down, we're going to swap and do the same thing with the other leg. I hope my shadow isn't looking confusing. So hands onto the knee, hands up, headlights up and push forwards and up. And come back down. And again, hands up, headlights up and push forwards. Come back down. And we're going to do one more this way. So hands up, headlights up and push forwards and come back down. Okay, well done everyone. That was quite a hard session. It was really intense, but it's used all of your abdominal muscles in lots of different ways, and it's used them in conjunction with pretty much all of your hip muscles as well, which is exactly what you need to be doing when you are in the saddle too. I hope you haven't found it too exhausting. Hope it's been useful. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It absolutely makes my day. Take care and I will see you soon. Bye bye.